You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
Information is power. Tell the truth.
Information Man Podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms, on the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks Podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, SoundCloud, and finally, Spreaker.
Information is power.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate everybody that's here. This is the Information Man. Now I'm having some problems. Oh, here go the picture. I thought I was going to have some problems with the picture, but it's coming through. Peace and love, everybody in the chat room. We got Brother Aduvian on. We got King Wage, all the people that's been following me for like a long time now. Brittany, it's good to see you here, sister. And we got Sugar Love, who's come in the house. This is sort of an impromptu video tonight, live stream. I am going to get into the issue of, as you can see there, do you believe that Byron Allen is speaking truth? I've got my man Lionsden on the line. If he's with me, what's up, brother?
Hey, Info, how's it going? And hey, everybody in the chat room, what's going on?
Peace,
guys?
peace. Hey, Lionsden, thanks a lot, man. Now, I found out through the grapevine that you did a video where you were wishing me a happy birthday. And that's right, everybody. I'm 50 years old. So that's called, I guess I'm middle aged now. And I'm 50 years old. I was born 11/13/1969. And I grew up, I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up at a time where they said that most black men would not make it to be 21 years old, let alone even 18 years old. And coming up in the generation that I came up in, I've beaten a lot of the odds in terms of what the society says would happen to young black men. Now, when I grew up, everybody, I grew up on the hard side of the mountain. I grew up around, I've been around a lot of different people that did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, people who've done illegal things growing up. So I grew up in a neighborhood where you could not help but be exposed to people that were doing some of the underworld type things. I lived in the Fillmore area of San Francisco, where back in the day, they had an infamous project called the Pink Palace. Those of you from the Bay Area know what I'm talking about. If you're old school, you had Virgos There was the brother. A lot of y'all are familiar with the rapper Rapping Forte. I remember that guy when I was a kid. Around the neighborhood, singing his music and doing other things. Okay, because everybody did what they had to do to survive. You had the high rise projects, and at some point in time, America decided they wanted to get rid of the high rise project because it was not working. So I know people from the Bayviews, Hunters Point area of San Francisco, Potrero Hill, Fillmore, as we call it, the Mo, all over the Bay Area. And I lived in Oakland for about 10 years. Know a lot of people in the Oakland area, went to college at San Francisco State. I graduated. I am a rehab therapist. I do work in mental health. I've worked with kids. I've worked with seniors, currently deal with guys in the prison system, trying to help them deal with their mental health issues and the environment of being incarcerated. And I've worked with kids that were what we call troubled youth, kids that were being abused by their parents, that have been in and out of group homes and kicked out of school. So my track record, this is one of the reasons why I always say, folks, that I'm more than just a brother who YouTubes. I have a resume background before I even got on YouTube, where I have done things personally in the community, professionally, helping youth, helping people. And that's been my life. And that was the reason why I went into the field that I went into, because I wanted to work with people. And there are some ups and downs when you work in mental health and when you see some of the sad things that can happen. And I'm going to tell y'all, everybody right now, as I see everybody coming to the chat room, peace and love to you. Those that showed up tonight, I appreciate you being here, all 12 of you, and I'm sure there'll be more people that will see this video after the fact. And make sure you share and leave a like, as you see right there. Leave a like on the video. But I grew up, I had friends. I got a few friends who are not here anymore. They're not here because of the lifestyle that they lived. And the best lesson I had was being able to grow up and see the mistakes that other people make, that gave me enough wisdom not to make the same mistakes. There's an old saying, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes and a fool learns from his own. So observing certain things that lead people down the wrong road is something that I definitely did growing up. And it worked with me very much. I had my mother was very strong. My father was not really in my life as I would have liked to be, due to circumstances that I could not control. But growing up, I did have a lot of positive Black male role models in my life, whether it be when I was playing sports at Ernest Ingles Boys Club in San Francisco, whether it be Black men in the community that were on the straight and narrow, that took me under their wings and taught me the right way, going to the barber shop and hearing the older guys talk about what it is to be a man. There was an older gentleman that I knew growing up, that my mom knew, who actually took me fishing, took me crabbing, all these things that you tend to learn to do when you are being raised by male energy. So I did have male energy. I grew up in a neighborhood as a kid where everybody knew who you were. If you did not get your butt in the house when the lights came on in the street lights, you were in a lot of trouble. Okay. You stole from the store. They knew who your mama was. Everybody, the community was a real community because it was like a village that raised the child. What we have today in some of our communities is that we have Black people or people occupying space, but there really is no real community. I grew up at a time when it was no problem to spank your child out in public without the fear of what we call child protective services coming in and telling you how to raise your child. And then secondly, you got these goofy psychologists telling you how to raise your kids. And that's why we got a lot of buck wild stuff going on today. So I came up at a time where there was no participation trophies. You had to earn everything that you got as a child all the way up into your adulthood. Nobody was giving you anything. So I didn't grow up with this sort of entitlement attitude. Okay. A lot of these generations are growing up with this entitlement attitude, but that's not the way Info grew up. And so I'm happy to be 50 years old on this 13th of November 2019. And I'm glad to be doing this live stream, talking to you all, you great folks in the chat room. I see Blood X is in the house. Peace to Blood X. Mario Brunson's in the house. All of you all that's in the house, I really appreciate you all being here. Originally, I was going to go on StreamYards. And StreamYards has got some problems going on right now. They kept saying that I could not go live or go on because StreamYard is having some problems. StreamYards is having some problems with their connection to YouTube, and they're investigating it. And I remember hearing some time back, folks, that YouTube might not allow StreamYard to connect into their system. So we're going to find out I don't know how many of you have had problems operating your StreamYard. So I used my backup system, which is using an OBS style of system where I can put more special effects on the screen. So I interchange between different styles and different views. So Lion's Den, brother, I want to say to you right now while you're on the line, and anybody who wants to call in, because I am going to speak about Byron Allen and the situation that he is in a lawsuit with Comcast, and it's based on the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And what Byron Allen is trying to do is he's trying to say, look, Comcast is going to be able to discriminate against a lot of people because they're going to raise the standards as to how you can bring a lawsuit or how you can hold these corporations accountable for their fraudulent and unfair practices when it comes to contracting. Byron Allen talks about how a lot of these corporations are not spending appropriate enough much money with black businesses, black radio, even with himself. And, you know, Byron Allen, he owns the Weather Channel. Another thing I didn't know, Lions Den, Byron Allen, man, he owns a lot of stuff. I didn't even know he owns the grill. Okay. Did you know that, Lions Den?
Yeah. And he also he owns a lot of other channels too. And one good thing about this is that, you know, he's bringing this to the Supreme Court, and obviously that this is huge because if Byron Allen wins, if the Supreme Court decides to grant Byron Allen's favor, then it's going to open the floodgates of a lot of African Americans who've been discriminated against when it comes to corporate employees. For example, you know, if they terminate you because of your race, and you can prove that is a fact, then they can say, well, it's discrimination, and they will be in serious trouble. So that should be a great thing if Byron Allen in the Supreme Court and wins this case against Comcast.
The last I read, it looks like, and I don't want this to happen, and I'm going to say peace to everybody out there in the chat room. Everyone, Samuels, we got Lady M, we got Royalty Simpson. Thank you all for coming through. Today is my birthday, and I appreciate you all out there. Blood X, I see you in the house, brother. Thanks everybody for coming over. We got Sensation, Sassy. I'm bad with names, but we got a lot of great people in the chat room. Lions Den, I know you're on the phone, but are you looking at this on your computer right now? Is there anybody in there you want to shout out or say anything to?
Unfortunately, I don't. You know, I ain't have it on my phone or my computer at the moment.
Okay, brother, it's okay. I just wanted to see. You know, sometimes people might be looking at the same time. Let me just get right to the point. We are broadcasting live on Spreaker, my podcasting. So this will go out to the podcast. Let me say peace to everybody out there that will be listening to this down the line on, let me see, Google Podcasts. Okay, we got Apple Podcasts. We got Castbox. We got iHeartRadio Podcasts. We got, what else am I on? Oh, people that'll be listening or will check this out on my Facebook page that I have separate to my show. And then we've got, what's the other one? Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, and we got SoundCloud are some of the platforms. For those of you that are listening, peace to you. And let me also say peace to my brother Ben out there. And he's got a great podcast It's called Seriously Not Another Podcast. I want to say peace to those folks out there. I will be shouting out quite a few of these different podcast shows because I'm connecting with a lot of people. Folks, I will be bringing a lot of great interviews onto the program in the near future. I'm making contact with people that I personally know, people that I've connected with out there in the business world. These are Black folks that are doing incredible things. I got a young man who will be with me, I think January of the new year, the 18th, who is working in space engineering and things of that. This brother is doing some great things. So I've got a lot of goodies of people that I'm booking for the show, for live interviews that are coming on board. And I've got a lot of good stuff. Anthony Carter, thank you for being here. I see Peggy Roster is here. Thank you for being here. I've got a lot of goodies. We got Anita B's in the house. Oh, fine, sexy Anita B. Peace to you, sister. Make sure y'all share the video. Once again, it is my birthday. I'm coming on here. I'm very appreciative of life to be able to wake up and see 5-0. A lot of people sometimes get depressed and be like, I'm getting old. Well, I'm getting old. I'm getting gray in my hair. But you know what? I've earned the gray in my hair. I've earned these years because I've seen there's a lot of people that I knew growing up, folks, that are not here anymore. And so I've earned it. I've gone through the ups and downs of life, and I'm still going to learn more and more about life. There's so much more to learn. But you know what they say, Lions Den, when you get older, you get to a point where you just don't give a damn. You'll speak your mind. And that's what Byron Allen, that's what Byron Allen said today. I'm going to play an audio clip because he said some explosive things about Al Sharpton and President Obama, who I know we all wish would have done a little bit more than what he did do as it relates to the Black community. I am going to dispute some things. We got Miss Reed here. Peace to you, Miss Reed. And we got my man Full Circle with the $5 super chat. If you want to call in, Full Circle, you see the number on the line there. Let me thank you for that.
Thank you for the super chat.
That's right, brother. Give you a clap too. Woo! That music is funky too.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
All right, folks, I'm just having a little fun. It's my birthday. I'm having a little fun. I want y'all to have fun with me. Full Circle, if you want to call in, brother, and talk, brother, go ahead. And another thing, Full Circle, I need you, Full Circle, to definitely get up on my panel and let me interview you one of these days, brother. So Lions Den, what I want to do, and I'm going to say once again, Lions Den, brother, thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your shout out on your channel today. I got a chance to look at it, brother. You surprised me. I didn't know that you were going to be so gracious towards me like that, brother, but I really appreciate that. Everybody in the chat room, do me a favor. Hey, go ahead and subscribe to each other, help each other out. And another thing too, this is just for people on YouTube in general who are content creators. There was a video that I put on my Twitter. And if you are following me on Twitter, it's you can follow me on Twitter at Clinton06, at Clinton06. There was a guy talking about emojis, how people were getting their Google accounts suspended on YouTube, putting too many emojis. And he was saying that it was ridiculous when they were trying to contact YouTube to fix this problem. But for some reason, if you do a massive amount of emojis, we're talking about just a massive amount, you could be at risk for losing your Google account altogether, which means you won't be able to do anything on Google, even outside of YouTube, because YouTube is owned by Google. So just want to give you all a heads up out there. And who do we have online right now?
Hey, this is Mario Brunson.
What's going on, brother? Peace to you.
What's up, man? I was in your chat. I was in your live chat.
Mario Brunson, yeah, I'm glad to have you here. And we got my man Screen Learning coming in. Peace to you, Screen Learning. Let me give you a super chat.
Thank you.
Let Let me hit this for you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Screen Learning. Hey, brother, I thank you for calling in. What I want to do, anything you want to say, brother, I really would appreciate it. But I am going to play this Byron Allen clip because he goes in hard. I don't know if you heard it, but he went in hard on Al Sharpton. I don't know how you feel about Al Sharpton or even Obama at this point, but he went in hard. And to me, the reason why he could talk like this is because when you've got money and you've got power and you got economic independence, especially as a black man, you can really say what you want to say. What are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, well, my thoughts on Byron Allen is I'm following Byron for a minute.
Okay.
And Byron, people think that because they tout black people out as billionaires, they give them that label.
Mm-hmm.
Byron Allen don't have billions of dollars like that. He don't.
Okay.
This man is being backed. He's an agent.
Okay.
All of these people are agents. Man.
Okay.
They are front people for white men. White men use these token Negroes as pawns. Here they'll use him up, and they'll let that white woman that he married to destroy him later.
Okay.
So, he's just another token. He's no different than the rest of them.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. And so when you get up to that level, no matter how much, whether he's a billionaire, whatever assets he has, when you get up to that level, one can make an inference that to get to that kind of level, you've got to make some deals. You've got to rub certain shoulders with certain people, maybe kiss some butt here and there. But as it relates to
at the expense of who though? Of your own people.
Okay. Well, let me say this to you because I want to play this clip. What is your thoughts? Because what Byron Allen brings up some issues about Al Sharpton in terms of where money is going when it comes to this media conglomerate, media doing business with black businesses in terms of advertising dollars and getting proper contracts. Because
that was safe.
Okay.
The reason why he was able to throw Al up under the bus,
okay,
because the black community don't deal with Al Sharpton anyway.
Right.
Al Sharpton on supporting cast is already done. Al Sharpton is done, and he know that. So that was very safe. That was methodic and strategic.
Okay.
So you can throw Al up on the bus because Al, we don't fund Al Sharpton. Mm-hmm. We don't support Al Sharpton.
Okay.
So therefore, we would jump on board with that because you know us how we emotional people. So if you say something like that, black people jump onto that. They're he talking junk about Al Sharpton because I don't like Al Sharpton. So anything somebody says about it, I'm gonna agree with it, even though him and Al Sharpton can have dinner tonight. We don't know that. They could be having dinner right now as we speak together. Like, man, hey, I had to do that to you, man. It's okay. That's the game, man. That's the game they play. They play on our emotions.
Wow.
Lions Den, we are emotional people.
Lions Den, before I play this clip, what do you think about what the brother is saying? He's saying he believes that Byron Allen is an agent as well. And that I think he makes an interesting point that he's calling Al Sharpton out and even Obama because they're what we call as their soft targets right now. Because he's saying that, black people in general, we don't really rock with Al Sharpton like that anymore. What do you think? Because I'm going to play the clip. It's about a 7-minute clip, and it should add to the discussion tonight. And brother Moses, good to see you here, brother. It's my birthday tonight. I'm just celebrating a little bit, kicking it and chilling with y'all all. What do you think, Lions Den?
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you like this. I agree with the brother about Al Sharpton because remember Al Sharpton is on MSNBC. Now remember MSNBC owned by Comcast. So I'm not really surprised at what the brother was saying about what Al Sharpton say.
Right.
But as far as Byron Allen is concerned, the thing of it is that and I know that he's a billionaire, quote unquote billionaire. And I think there's been rumors that he was a part of, he's had a company that owned by Donald Trump. There's been rumors about that, but we don't know if that's confirmed or not. But I will say this, Byron Allen is really the only black billionaire we all know is going to confront Comcast and how they run shady business with how been discriminated against when it comes to African Americans and whatnot. So with that being said, I think what's going to happen is that depending on what the Supreme Court decision is going to be,
right,
whatever it is, it is going to impact everyone if Byron Allen wins. But if it loses, it's going to be the same old thing, that they're going to discriminate you because you're black, or they're going to discriminate you because you got the wrong type of hair.
right.
But we will wait and see what's going to happen in the Supreme Court when this decision happens.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I want to say peace to Al Express. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
And we got Big Pokey Doggy in the house. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
I want to thank everybody that's coming through. Let me go ahead and just play this 7-minute clip.
Let me say some information, man, before
Go ahead.
you play this video.
Yes, sir.
For what my man just said, I want to respond to that.
Okay.
About 80% of that I agree with it. But
Okay.
The last 20% of this Supreme Court case that going on this week is
Right.
going to end. Maybe who knows how long it's going to take for this to end. But this is just a smoke screen. This would not affect us as black people. This is scare this fear mongering and these tactics they're using. And I'm not going to just sit and regurgitate something I heard from what somebody said. So I'm not going to repeat what I heard with like Judge O'Brien interview. I watched the interview and I heard what Judge O'Brien said. But these fear tactics they're using, this case would not affect us.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, this is just a play. It's just a play in their playbook. They're going to get us because they fear mongering. They're trying to fear us into leaning to this man, looking up at this man as a leader. He's not a leader. He's not, because first of all, he lay with a white woman. This man married to a white woman. So he ain't going to lead black people no way, because he go against the woman who he lay with.
Okay.
You are who you lay with, and that's who he is. This man being showed you who he are. This man just pop up out of nowhere. Yeah, he's not. This not going to take black people to the promised land, even if he win this case.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, and all to be balanced here. I don't necessarily believe that Byron Allen is trying to actually lead black people. Matter of fact, you can make an argument that because he's a quote unquote businessman, he might be self-serving for his own pocketbook. Because in the interview that I'm going to play, the guy on there said to him, are you doing, he said that, Al Sharpton is a shakedown artist. And the guy said to him, or aren't you trying to shake down Comcast? And he says, well, no, I'm a legitimate businessman. I don't want to, and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, being a businessman, he is going to be self-serving for himself because he's not getting the contracts that he wants. So I don't think it's about Byron Allen trying to be a leader personally. I think it's more about him trying to take care of himself as a businessman.
But you have to remember.
Yes.
I agree with you, but you have to remember, you're talking to black people. So anytime we see a black person progressing in any way, we're gonna latch on to this person as a leader. And he know this, and plus his handlers know this.
Right. And that's
so even if he do it indirectly, it's still gonna happen. It's happening now. That's why we having this conversation.
Okay,
brother.
brother.
Man, we putting this. We deifying this dude.
Okay.
You hear people speak of this dude like a Jesus.
Okay. Well, this is
we have to be careful.
This is the reason why. And I had a conversation with Brother Art on his show the other night that was very, very productive. I think that, and peace out and peace to Brother Art out there, peace to Brother Gab Talk Media, O'Shea Dude Jackson, everybody within Black YouTube out there. Peace to all of you out there tonight. If you're listening to me or you listen to this later, this is the thing. I think black people, one of our biggest problems is that we have been, one, religiously oriented. Okay. No disrespect to anybody's religion, but it's just the truth. We've been religiously oriented, and that out of that religious orientation, we have a Messiah complex where we're always looking for one person to lead us to some promised land. When you look at the ADOS movement, and believe me, I'm 100% for ADOS, right? But you've got this situation going on between Tone Talks, Yvette, and Brother Tariq Nasheed over this whole issue over Is it ADOS or is it foundational black people? Right? And to me, one of our biggest problems as black people is that we get too caught up in symbolism and messianism. We need to focus on what is in the best interest of us. So while having these arguments about philosophical views on how we get reparations, if we're going to get it, if we keep having these different philosophical views and we put ourselves in our different tribes and we split ourselves like that, we're never going to really achieve what we need to achieve if black people just cannot stop hating on one another and everybody trying to be, I gotta be the leader of this. That's our problem. We suffer from the Messiah complex. That we need someone to lead us, and we gotta follow someone, and then it leads us down the road that doesn't get us what we really need because we're not working. And I know screen learning. Well, I had a conversation with him about why collectivism doesn't work versus the individual, because collectivism means that the group, someone has to sacrifice for the betterment of the group. But we know right now, sometimes we're not willing to sacrifice. And if we're not willing to sacrifice, it's going to hurt the collectivism. Go ahead, brother, because I want to play this clip and have other people come in.
Let me say this to what you just said.
Yes, sir.
I have a solution to this problem, this black problem we having.
All right, brother Art.
Only thing we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is one solution to this problem. Only thing we have to do as a group of people, pool our money together, come up with a I forgot the word, agent. It's a group of investigators to investigate these so-called leaders into their income, where their money is coming from, who is funding these people, and I guarantee you they will disappear off the map overnight.
Okay.
Only thing we have to do is investigate these people, who paying these agents to do this.
Okay.
Yvette Cornell, Tone Talks, Tariq Nasheed, all these people who planning on talking about leading black people somewhere. If you find out who funding these people, because these people ain't just come from nowhere. They're not getting this money from nowhere. I mean, from just anywhere.
Right.
We not funding these people. Let's just be honest.
Well,
black people ain't donating this kind of money to these people.
Well,
these people are getting checks.
Yeah,
the bottom. Confused.
Let me just say this, brother. The bottom line is that you always follow the money, because the money in the narrative and the agenda always matches up. For example, when you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, we know that it was George Soros, a liberal who is into doing this, social engineering. He put money in that pot to manipulate that. Whenever you have, I don't care if it's liberals, conservatives, whenever you have someone with money like that influencing and putting money in your movement, you don't have a voice. They're the true voice behind that movement, manipulating things. Let me do this. Let me play the clip. Anybody else that wants to call in? We got brother Art in the house. We got my man Kenny, who gave me the super chat. Brother, thank you for that.
Thank you for the super chat.
Brother Kenny says, happy birthday, information man. Blessings be with you, my fellow Scorpio. Yes, many more special. Yeah, I'm hoping for many more, brother. I live as long as I possibly can and within this crazy world that we're in.
Happy birthday, my brother. Happy
thank
birthday,
you,
man.
Thank you for that. So let me do this. Lions Den, are you still with me, brother?
I'm still here, brother.
Say something to the people out there, brother. I mean, this is a good conversation we're starting off with.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Even though I wasn't able to see what everybody was writing, but I still got love for each and every one of you guys. And we still going to reign strong. And for Info's birthday, man, 50 years old, man, 11 years, still going strong, brother.
Yeah, brother.
I'm just showing my Facebook, man.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm trying, man. I'm gonna tell you, it hasn't been easy. I've gone up the hard side of the mountain, like everybody. I've had my struggles in life. I've made my mistakes. I'm gonna be honest. You know, I was married for about 15 years, divorced for 11, and when I look back on my divorce, I made mistakes in my marriage that did contribute to the marriage not lasting. So you have to, as you grow as a man, you grow with wisdom through experiences. And you gain knowledge as you go along in life. And hopefully you will take that wisdom that you learn and that people have imparted upon you, and you will give it and transfer it to other people in a wise manner. So I thank you all for being here. Let me do this. Let me get through this part of the show. I've got to play the 7-minute breakdown of Byron Allen so that we can analyze it and break it down. I also want to bring up some issues, some problematic issues I have about the movie Harriet Tubman. I definitely want to touch on that tonight. I should do a separate video or live stream about that, but that's another issue. Because why that's an issue? Because the same company, whether you like Byron Allen or not, the same company that Byron Allen is in this lawsuit against, Comcast, is the one responsible for the production and the money behind the movie Harriet Tubman, which is why I said before, whoever is controlling the money purse controls the vision that you're going to get. Even though it had black people directing and writing and all of this, where did the money come from? And that's why you can explain them creating fictional characters of black men being bounty hunters, hunting after their own people because he wants to have money to get white women. Okay. All that type of Bigger Long was his name. Guess what? The guy never existed. Nobody should have their kids watching that movie when that movie has got nothing but fiction in it. So let me go ahead and play this particular audio, and I'll be back with the folks on the calls. And Lions Den, hang on there, brother. And those of you who want to call in, once again, this is the Information Man Show. The number is 605-313-5658 with the code number being 571128. It is a conference call, so that means that more people can call in and be on the line talking. So let me go here with the clip right here. Check it out.
$1 million lawsuit over alleged racial discrimination against black-owned media companies. Now, in the complaint, Byron Allen, a comedian, TV presenter, and CEO of Entertainment Studios, alleges that Comcast gave Al Sharpton that 6 p.m. show on MSNBC, for which he's been paid approximately $750,000 per year, despite notoriously low ratings, and in exchange for his continued public support for Comcast on issues of diversity. Now, it all sounds kind of convoluted, and I want to get to the bottom of it. So joining me now in Los Angeles is Byron Allen. Thank you for being here this morning.
Tell the truth.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
This case has been getting a lot of coverage this week. We've heard from Comcast, and I'll read their comment in a minute. But tell me the 1-minute version of what you're alleging.
Real simple. The cable industry, AT&T, DirecTV, Comcast, Time Warner, they spent about $50 billion a year licensing cable networks and advertising, with less than $3 million per year going to 100% African-American owned media. Now, what they do is they make token donations to people like Al Sharpton, the NAACP, the Urban League, and after taking those donations, they negotiated a fraudulent MOU that says this is okay for black people to live by. What America needs to understand is that Al Sharpton does not speak for me. Al Sharpton does not speak for black people. It's like I ask people, who is the white person who speaks for you? It's racist to even believe that Al Sharpton is the go-to person. Shame on you, Sony, for thinking sit down with Al Sharpton, and that negates your racist emails about President Obama. So it's real simple. These token donations they make to him, as reported in the New York Post, allows them to have racial cover. This is why we're not getting enough advertising or any advertising from McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Chrysler and General Motors and AT&T. They don't spend any money with African-American owned media. Something that's very alarming, AT&T spent more money on Al Sharpton's lavish 60th birthday than they spent on Ebony magazine, the biggest African-American magazine in America, around 70 years, 10 million readers per month. AT&T spent only $30,000 on that magazine. Walmart has given money to Al Sharpton. Walmart doesn't spend any money in Ebony magazine, and they barely do business with me in a long-term partnership. And I'm constantly going back and forth with Walmart and Chrysler as well. So he is the least expensive Negro. Don't really do business with real African-American owned companies.
Something like that sound. I mean, when you say that about Sharpton, are you saying he's
the numbers are actual. The numbers are just follow the money. That, don't do business with real African-American owned companies. Just make a token. Give him $50,000 and a bucket of chicken, and we're good. We won't have any problems with real African-American owned media. You should not be Chrysler. You shouldn't be giving him money and not spending money with me and others like me and Stevie Wonder's radio
so you're
station
saying it's
here
a
in Los
shakedown,
Angeles.
but aren't you trying to shake them down the same way by filing this lawsuit, which you know is not going to succeed?
Look, Brian, let's define a shakedown. He doesn't give anything in return. I am a legitimate businessman. I am one of the largest independent producers of television and media in the world. I have 36 television shows on the air and 7 24-hour HD networks. They're not letting us participate in the $50 billion that they spend on licensing and advertising. There's a very big difference. He's the shakedown. I'm the legitimate entrepreneur. We have to make sure
we're
that
showing some of your programs right now, but let me read Comcast's response. I think it's really important to hear their side here. They say this complaint represents nothing more than a string of inflammatory, inaccurate, and unsupported allegations. We are proud of our outstanding record supporting and fostering diverse programming. They went on to say we will defend vigorously against the scurrilous allegations in this complaint, and we fully expect that the court will dismiss them. Now, Sharpton has not commented on the record. Do you have a question for him or a thing you'd like him to address about this?
No, Al Sharpton's not that. He's not important. He's nothing more than a black pawn in a very sophisticated white economic chess game. He's being used by his white masters at Comcast and AT&T. He just needs to shut up and get in the bleachers. What we have to do is get these corporations to understand you must include African-American owned media. We have to stop the financial genocide against the black community.
I mean, you understand how offensive this all sounds to someone like Al Sharpton.
Well, you know, I'm not worried about his feelings. I'm more focused on getting corporate America to understand it's time to do business with us. And President Obama has been bought and paid for. He has taken donations from Comcast. Comcast is his biggest contributor. AT&T is one of his biggest contributors. Listen, Obama, your own FTC is investigating AT&T for throttling. How can you even consider them to buy DirecTV when you're suing them? Is it because you took donations? Yes, Obama.
Information
Don't even think about
is
letting
power.
them merge until they settle this lawsuit and that lawsuit. Comcast got caught. Well, let me, Brian, this is
your
important.
main issues here are about the mergers, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, and AT&T DirecTV.
No, Brian, let me be clear. My main issue is about economic inclusion for African Americans. You know, Comcast deployed software that slowed down video over the web in 2008. They broke federal laws. That's like me robbing a bank, and then after I get out on probation saying I want to be the president of the bank. Obama has to do more. I'm very proud of what Obama has done for the gay community. I'm very proud that he has achieved gay marriage. And if you can do that, you can achieve economic inclusion for all Americans, especially African Americans who have been left the furthest behind. Obama, you bailed out the banks. The banks you bailed out don't even make commercial loans to African Americans. Obama, you bailed out the car companies. Those car companies don't advertise with people like me and people like Ebony Magazine. Obama controls close to $2 billion in advertising. Join the Army, join the Navy, join the Marines.
It sounds like
we as African Americans do not
consolidation. Yeah.
Brian, you're not hearing me. Brian, listen to me carefully. My concern
I hear what you're saying. You're saying that they're not advertising
Well,
with independently owned media. These are issues about media consolidation. But I understand that you're making these racial points about how they affect African American communities and businesses. I do want viewers to know we read the Comcast statement, and we'd like to hear from Sharpton as well on this, and hopefully we can in the future. But Mr. Allen, I do appreciate you being here this morning and telling us about this.
Okay, Obama, you're right.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
Information is power.
All right, everybody, we're back. That is the clip. I hope everybody could hear that clip very clearly. Let me know in the chat room by putting yes if you could hear it. It was a long clip, but I hope you could hear it. But the thing that was really funny to me is when he said that Al Sharpton needs to get in the bleachers. I mean, say what you will about Alan Byron Allen, whatever you think about him, I have to admit that there was some truth to what he was saying in terms of Al Sharpton and in terms of Obama. I have to agree with those things. And why would he not know that when he's in those circles? Because I think Byron Allen, he came on another show that I listened to, a radio show, and he said he was really heels over heels for Obama. And he's been a big critic of President Obama and what he didn't feel that he got done for us. And that's another thing I want to bring up. I am going to be doing a separate video talking about this notion about for you black folks out there and folks out there who believe that somehow Donald Trump has improved black unemployment. I've done the numbers. I've done the research. I've used his own Bureau of Labor statistics, and then I looked at what they were when Obama was in office. And I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump did not create more jobs, employment opportunities for black people in comparison to the numbers from the Labor Department. Not my numbers. It didn't come from no liberal publication. These are labor statistic numbers. And it also comes out of Forbes, and that ain't no liberal rag. And I'm sorry, a lot of us black folks running around here using that as part of the excuse for why you want to follow Donald Trump, because he's putting more black folks in jobs. But it's funny, no one ever talks about what are these jobs that Trump have created. We just hear black folks saying, well, he created jobs for black folks, so he's a good president. Well, what kind of jobs? Are these high wage paying jobs? Or are these low skilled jobs? See, nobody wants to get into that. Are they minimum wage? Because if he's creating jobs, but these jobs don't give you a livable wage, then how is that benefiting black folks or anybody out here if the jobs are minimum wage and they're not paying you enough money to make it in this society where wages are continuing to be stagnant while people price of living's going up, wages are stagnant. So he can create all the jobs he wants, but the question is, what type of jobs? Nobody talks about that. Okay, nobody wants to talk about that because you might find out that a lot of these jobs are not paying you enough money to support a family. Let me say what's up to brother Yapo in there. Brother Yapo, I'm glad to see you in the chat room tonight. I did get your message, brother. Email me, give me a call. You got the number. Let's talk. It's been a long time, brother Yapo. Lions Den, we've got brother Yapo in the house.
Yeah, tell him, brother Yapo, what's going on? What's up? He's pretty cool when we were talking last time. So I'm glad he's on the chat room tonight.
Yeah, we got my man Stillwater Nation. Peace to you. Guy's got a great channel. He's got all the special effects and he's got a fun channel. If you just want to go to a YouTube channel where you want to have a good time and get away from all the stress of talking about the issues that we talk about, Stillwater's got that kind of channel where you can just have a good time and chill. Let me just let y'all know there's a lot of different people on YouTube that are doing a lot of chill things. Check out these channels that are chill. You know, we're gonna have channels like mine where we get into these kind of issues, and then there's channels where you can go and relax and chill. We got my man Marlo's music channel. He plays piano. He's a brother who plays piano. If you want to learn how to play the piano, hello? Yes, I'm gonna come with you. I'm gonna come to you right in just a moment. Just give me a moment. If you want to learn piano, I gotta give some advertisements for some folks out here. If you want to learn piano and you want to relax to piano play, check out Marlo's music channel. Now, if you want to know about Bitcoin, what's going on in the industry of business, technology, health, where things are going, robots, space, all of that, you check out the Black Brain Trust. That's right, the Black Brain Trust. Check them out. Now, if you want to have an intellectual conversation where there's good conversation amongst brothers about all issues of the day dealing with black men, check out my man Prophet of Thought series. He goes live on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and he has a variety of great folks within Black YouTube that are prominent folks who come on and talk about a variety of different things, black male issues, relationship issues, how we can best improve ourselves as men. So check him out. We got Book of Alpha Romany. That brother, he gives the game. Check him out. You got O'Shea Du Jackson, who's got the Sunday Rumble, which I've been a part of. Check out my man Gab Talk Media. Check them out. There's a lot of good stuff going on YouTube. Check it out. Oh, there's a brother that I'm very proud to call my brother, and that's brother TR Nari X. Brother is a musician. He's traveled the world as a musician. He's got a great channel. He plays the guitar. He helps people grow their channels. So if you want to grow your channels, check out TR Nari X. Great brother. He just had a birthday just yesterday. And I'm a fixture over there on his show as well. So with that said, those are my promos right now. I peace and love to everybody out there. Now, who do we have online on the Information Man show?
What's going on? It's brother Super Mike 2164.
What's up, Super Mike?
What's up, big brother? No, I mean, I just thought you got an interest. No, I just said I called in. I just thought you have an interesting show, good show.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Well program. Yeah, I think I've seen you also on Black Junction.
Yeah, I got too. Yeah, I've got a page over there. I interviewed Brother Youssef a long time ago, and I'm kind of sad to say I saw his latest video some time ago where he says he's thinking about shutting Black Junction TV down. He'll keep the other portion because I feel bad to have to say this. He's not doing well with it because he's not getting Black people support, and that's a damn shame with Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's a big shame too. But I mean, you know, he has talent, so maybe when we realize, maybe he'll come give us something again.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to comment on the Byron Allen.
Yeah, brother, give your opinion. Yeah, give your opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, I think with Byron Allen, I think it's just several levels that this thing is going to play out in.
Mm-hmm.
There's levels that he has an objective. There's a hidden objective, and then there's an objective where this is leading us to overall as a community. And what I mean, just real quick, and this ain't gonna take long. It's just the fact that I think that he's got his self-serving interest.
Yes.
But, you know, that's a business person, so he's going to have that. And,
but what business?
Yeah, I mean,
but brother, what we gotta be logical here. What business person doesn't have
a large,
wait a minute,
cookies and cream?
Yeah, let me.
I'm listening.
this brother must be at the store ordering something delicious to eat. But let me just say this, brother. This is very simple.
I'm right here with you.
Okay, this is just a simple statement. Let me just say this here. I'm just turning the volume down on your speaker because it brings feedback. Let me just say this here. What business person or businessman or woman is not self-serving? So that's why it doesn't really bother me what he's doing personally, because that's what a businessman is supposed to do. You're supposed to look after your self-interest to survive, bottom line. But this is the thing. If the case that Byron Allen is bringing forth to the Supreme Court, if he wins, it is going to benefit Black people that are in business. We're always talking about Black business. Black people need to have their own businesses. If he wins, it's going to help Black people that are in business so that they get the advertisement dollars, whether it be radio, whatever. Because what Byron Allen is saying is that they're not sharing. He's saying that they're giving money to Al Sharpton. He's getting paid, what, $700,000? He makes $700,000 with MSNBC. He's saying Sharpton's getting some money. And what happens is Comcast and Sony, they cut these checks to guys like Al Sharpton to make it look like they're doing something for the Black community, but they're still not doing business with other business people. Al Sharpton's on television, and he's making money, and he's doing whatever he does, whether you agree with the guy or not. So that's what I want to add there, brother. Now I'm bringing your volumes up. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. Like I said, I agree with you 100%. We got to stop demonizing business. I mean, we need aggressive business. But what we want to demand though from our business leaders is loyalty.
Right.
And just from our organization, so we want our people to make money. And we want to stop being suspicious of people who are getting money, you know. But we want loyalty. And the only problem that I see a little bit with what Byron is doing is that and Tyreek today made a good point, how he doesn't have as much black programming as we would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even worried about the marriage thing. I'm just not. But that is a flag. And I understand that he needs us to mobilize for him. But that's kind of what happened in the 60s when we mobilized for all of our black professionals to get included, and they didn't return the favor in making sure that the little people got access, and that's why we feel sold out by them today. Yeah, and that's the problem that we're having. So we don't want to have that repeat cycle, but we have to try. But we do have to demand of our, even though we love him. I love Byron Allen from Detroit. I'm from Detroit.
Okay.
And he's a good example of a businessman. But, we demand loyalty, and so that's my main thing. But what I also want to say is if he loses the case, it still would end up helping us. I mean, did you see Greg Carr's response to the Byron Allen situation?
No, brother, explain
Dr.
that
Greg
to
Carr?
us. Explain that if you could.
Well, Dr. Greg Carr made a observation. He's a professor at somewhere in I think Howard University, and he teaches this stuff all the time. He said that if he loses, then the Supreme Court case with Dred Scott would take precedent because it never was revoked.
Right.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't like, but what it would do is it would fractionalize, it would increase state rights over federal government rights, and it could tear the country apart, and basically would fractionalize the country because, like you said, it would, it would throw a lot of stuff into. People would basically end up moving to where they would have the best chance of getting their rights protected, and that would kind of fractionalize the country. That's what Greg Carr observed.
This is the problem, though. No matter what you feel about Byron Allen personally, if he loses the case, it is going to have reputable damage towards all people trying to get their business off the ground and get those advertising dollars and get recognized and be treated fairly in the marketplace and when it comes to contracts. So
that's true.
So that's why I can put aside whatever my personal differences are with this guy, Byron Allen, because we have to, as I said before, we need to look at what is in the best interest. And as my man Screen Learning said when I interviewed him, he said one of our downfalls is that when you talk about collectivism, I'm going to say it again, collectivism is based on the fact that one must be willing to sacrifice themselves and not be selfish for the whole. But unfortunately,
isn't that the concept of Jesus the Christ? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, even though that's that concept. We use religious concepts and we say we hate religion, but we're using these same principles.
You're right.
And we're just using different languages. So we need to, really just reimagine. I mean, I understand the reason why we would talk to religion the wrong way, but, we got some good principles that we need to, just kind of pay attention to. But the only thing is what I was saying too, though, if he loses it, and it's just going to create I think it's leading us as a community, as a Black community, ever since we even got here during slavery and after the slavery, the Jim Crow and all of the other hurdles that it is just pushing us where we are destined to be, which is into a separate community that we actually control. That's where I think we're heading. It's going to happen at some point in time. And I think that if he loses, which the type of Supreme Court that Donald Trump has stacked, they very well, and it's a pretty good chance they're going to side with Comcast. And I think that Byron Allen is going to lose this case. Because if it goes to the Supreme Court, it's a conservative Supreme Court, he's going to lose, I think. I think it's just going to create more pressure on us to go ahead and take over cities and take over states and take over police departments,
right,
and get busy and go ahead and control areas that we can protect ourselves. And, you know, we're going to still be Americans, but we're going to have to think a whole lot different. We're going to have to think control. We can't be thinking equality. We got to think dominance, you know? And so that's my comment.
Okay. Well, either
Yes,
the bottom line is to work as a collective, as I was saying, brother, you have to sacrifice yourself. And the problem is how many of us are willing to do that. And that's one of the reasons why, as my brother Screen Learning was saying, sometimes collectivism sometimes doesn't work because there's always someone that's being selfish and breaking it apart. And that's one of the concerns that I have about the whole the ADOS movement, which I'm a supporter of wholeheartedly, but I'm afraid that if we, as we were saying earlier, when the brother called in earlier, if we get caught up in this Messiah type complex, it could actually hurt the movement because everyone's looking for some leader, some Messiah, some person to lead the way.
If we really, I really think, like I said, I think sometimes we speak out of pain and we use certain buzzwords, and of course we've been lied to, so it kind of triggers. But that Messiah complex, if you look at it as a function, I mean, you're going to need a person to come along like that. I'm sorry, every community, I don't care if you start looking at other groups that have struggles against, oppressive kinds of situations, you're going to have that leader come along, or that good organizer come along.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have a series of them come along. So they're just natural leadership, and we shouldn't be afraid of that. We shouldn't discourage it. We shouldn't be mad at ourselves because we are attracted to a galvanizing personality. But at the same time, we do need to be careful. You know, that's all.
Well, the reason why we've always had, you're right, we've always had leaders, but the reason why I'm a little concerned still is because the question is, are you following the right leader, or are you following someone that's going to take you to your doom? When you look at the Jim Jones situation, where Jim Jones was a religious man, I know this personally because I've had friends growing up that lost their family. So sometimes you can follow the wrong person that can lead you down the wrong path because you're so passionate about them. And I think another thing that we suffer from personally is we get too caught up in personalities. Damn a personality. I want results. If we're going to fight for reparations, we're going to fight in this situation with the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which Byron Allen is using. Then that's why I say, damn the personality. I don't care about his personality. I don't care who he's laying in the bed with, because what he's doing is bigger than just him. It's how it affects other black people collectively. If he loses this case, if the Supreme Court, and from what I've seen today in an article related to the Supreme Court, it looks like the Supreme Court may screw us. I'm hearing the reports that it does not look promising.
They're gonna side with Comcast.
Right, they're going to go with Comcast.
To me, like I said, this is like a mathematical problem almost. And if anybody who has experience with math, and like you said, it doesn't matter about the personality and all of that kind of thing. It's like you have to understand the variables. And
right.
So if you got ignorant people, you got bad leadership, or you got liars, you got you can't get mad that those factors exist. You have to calculate for those factors, and you have to understand what is your solution, and you have to press forward for your solution. It is what it is.
Okay.
Like, we get mad at people because they fail, or we get mad at people like we call them a bad leader. But I mean, you know, some people would say, well, you know, here's the flag. The man was married to this person. Here's the flag. The man didn't hire that person.
Okay.
And so those were flags too. But I mean, like you said, it's all situational. But Byron Allen, like I said, I support Byron Allen. I support him, and I support him as leadership of the Black community at this moment.
Okay.
And like you said, it's not a personality situation, but it's just that I support what he's doing, but I also support the aftermath of other people, because that's going to bring other leadership into play that currently is too radical for us right now.
Right. Let me just say this: we got someone else that's called in. Let me hang on, brother. Let me say a few words. Once again, you may not like the person at the time, but are you able to look at, is what they're doing in the best interest for Black people and people across the board in this society that will have to deal with these corporations? Because these corporations, I'm sorry, they run this country. Matter of fact, if you didn't know, America is a corporation, and these corporations control these politicians. Nobody becomes president if they don't bow themselves down to the corporations, which is why when Byron Allen said that Obama has been brought and sold for, and all the rest of these, it's true. When you're playing high stakes politics, you are brought and sold for when you play in that arena, is what I'm talking about. Especially in that arena, nobody is a clean slate in these arenas. Before I bring the brother who's called back in on to talk, I've got to give my man Lions Den, see what he has to say. And then the two brothers that are on who want to debate the differences, you can go ahead and do that. But let me give Lions Den hear from him, and then I'll get to you two brothers if you want to debate the issues, because I know that the other brother who just called in, he got a few things he wants to say. So Lions Den, let Lions Den speak first. Lions Den, are you there?
I'm still here, brother.
Okay. I'm going to have those two brothers debate the issue that they want to debate, if that's what's going to happen. But what are your thoughts so far? You had a chance to hear the audio that I played, and you had a chance to hear some of the things that we've been saying, whether pro or con for what Byron Allen is doing or what he's representing. What do you got to say?
Well, you know, I already said that I support Byron Allen.
Okay.
And what he's doing. And I know a lot of people probably feel something different about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically, and then, you know, we talk about, you know, that he married to a white woman and everything else. But with that being said, that this guy, it will open the floodgates to every African American who's been discriminated against when it comes to the companies. The biggest concern that I have, however, is the Supreme Court justices. Now, remember, this is a conservative Supreme Court. Now, we don't even know who's going to side with who now with this conservative Supreme Court. And that is the biggest concern I have, Info, that you have a conservative, like 5-4, the majority of conservative Supreme Court, that they can decide anything at the moment. Are they going to side with Byron Allen? Or are they going to side with Comcast? So, again, this is going to be a wait and see thing. Yeah. But this is going to be a huge concern because we're dealing with a conservative Supreme Court.
Yeah. I think it's a concern, brother. I must be honest with you all here. Why it's a big problem is because what has Trump been doing since he's been in office? He's been loading up the Supreme Court, and then he's been mainly he's been lowering up these lower courts, the courts that you got to deal with before you even get to the Supreme Court. He's loading them up with tons of conservative of judges, and those conservative judges, what do you think they're going to do to your Black you-know-what? So he's loading it up, and therefore he's loading it up on his side, which means something like what Byron Allen is doing, they're going to circumvent it. See, the problem is this. It's a law. Now, the Supreme Court interprets law. Let's get this right, folks. The Supreme Court. What's going on, George Frazier? Thank you for being here. Sugar Love, I see you. In the Return of Black Man. I like that name, the Return of Black Man. Welcome here. The Supreme Court, if I'm not mistaken, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, they interpret law. So my question is, Byron Allen has won not once, but 2 times in the Ninth Circuit. So it shouldn't even be this case shouldn't even be in the Supreme Court, because he already won in the Ninth Circuit 2 times, because Comcast couldn't take their ass whipping the first 2 times. They couldn't take that ass whipping. So they said, you know what? We can't let this black guy beat us like this. We're going to take this chump to the Supreme Court. So this case in the Supreme Court is not really Byron Allen's actual he didn't bring it there. It got there because the Supreme Court, the Comcast and these companies, they kept circumventing and trying to push the issue because they don't want to take this big fat L that they already got in the Ninth Circuit courts. So Donald Trump, this is why Donald Trump and any other politicians, they want to load the courts up so that it favors their ideology. And if you look at what's happening in this country, they've been gutting everything that has to do with civil rights. Everything. Okay. All the civil rights laws that were put in place, they're gutting it. They're trying to marginalize it so that it does not have an impact for us in the future. This is what, in my opinion, what Donald Trump is talking about when he says he wants to make America great again. That's just how I feel about it. Now, let's get to the debate here. We got 2 brothers on here who may have similar agreement or disagreement. Let's get to it, and let's be respectful about it too, gentlemen. Go right ahead. Who wants to start first?
He can go ahead. Well, I want him to repeat his the reason why he's supporting this man.
Okay.
Why I support?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Why do you support Byron Allen?
Okay, so this is why I support Byron Allen right at this moment. His case. Okay, I'm well aware of the flags, and I am concerned about the flag, about the interracial marriage, and I listen to other stuff that he said, and I hear that he has a strong veneration for the white guy. I think his name was Chris, some guy who owned the Little Rascals franchise or something like that helped him to get his big break and to help him get access to the real money. And he because I think he said he spent like years or something calling all of the TV shows 40,000 times, asking them to carry his shows, and they kept telling him no, they were joking about not carrying his shows at a golf tournament. All of a sudden, he gets a call from this white guy, and the guy comes in there, gives him a tie, gives him some spiel about this father's tie, and my father was the greatest salesman or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we're going to bring Byron in, right? Made Byron feel like, oh, I'm your savior. These guys was laughing at you and telling each other that we're not going to give you any business because you're black. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Byron, they see this man calling them a damn year, and they're laughing on the golf course. All of a sudden, he gets a call. So my question would have been, okay, you were standing there laughing with them for the whole year. Well, all of a sudden, I'm getting a call. So they want to bring Byron in because I believe that they could use Byron, even though he may be sincere. But just like Obama, it's just that temperament. They can see that this guy is useful for us. And that's all I'm saying. It's not necessarily that the individual is trying to, destroy or hurt black people. They may be very sincere, but they just have that kind of character that they can be used as a face to sell the community on some kind of behavior that the white supremacists want us to do or whatever. So the only thing is, I say I support him because even if he loses, it's going to bring our society to where we need to be, because it's going to create the conditions. Because I believe that our only solution for this racism problem is for black people to begin to take over areas of this country from top to bottom. And we don't have any motivation to do that if we are scattered and we start believing in these systems. And so, you know, this is going to create a condition in this country that you're going to have to move to a certain state that you can get a fair shake in. Because if they decide against this man's case and gut this law of 1866, then it flips back to the Dred Scott decision officially, because that case was never taken off. And so what that means is that they don't have to, like you said, they look at you, you can't bring any cases. They do what they want to do. So it's going to revert to the state law. And whatever state that we can control and we can get laws that's in a fair shake, that's going to be the best state for Black folks to start moving in, and we should be able to take over that area and protect ourselves. We got too much. I just think that's where we're going anyway. I'm sorry. I know people don't agree with that. That's why we haven't done it. But it's going to take those conditions. That's the only thing that we can do to get some kind of stability in Black life or something like that, to get us something that we can protect. You know, and that's my take on that.
Okay, now we got the other. We have the. Wait a minute, hang on. Now we have the other gentleman who will speak his piece. Go right ahead, brother.
I'm gonna try to rebuttal some of this because you said a lot, but to simplify it, and I'm gonna come at it two different ways. First of all, when someone give you some rights, they can also take those rights away from you. So when they give you something, they can take it from you because it's not yours. They gave it to you. First of all, you don't want nobody to give you that. You have to take it. You have to demand it. And for this case that we griping over, we, I guess, praying over, nothing gonna change tomorrow. If this case ends tomorrow, he win or lose, nothing gonna change for us as regular Black people here in the United States. 'Cause first of all, even if Byron Allen win and he get these deals or whatever, these contracts, Black people don't really watch TV like that anyway. We on YouTube or Facebook. So he can get all the TV shows and the deals he want from these people. We don't watch it anyways no more. That's why Oprah, the OWN network, is failing. BET is failing because we don't watch TV no more. So it's a waste of time anyway in the argument. And plus, Black people should get away from entertainment. Period.
Yeah. Now, not to cut you off, brother. I want you to finish your point, but let's keep this in mind. Byron Allen, his game is not just television. This brother owns a lot of stuff. I mean, I didn't realize that he owns the Grill. He's got ownership.
A publication that Black people don't is not concerned with.
Okay.
We're not concerned with the Grill.
Okay, but I just want to
most of the stuff that he.
I just want to put it out there that he does have business interests in a lot of things that we may not be aware of that could or could not be beneficial. Now, even though
he do, so that make my point. That proves one of my points.
Okay.
No matter all these things that he entities that he claim he own are supposed to own, it don't affect us anyway. It ain't affecting us now. So next week or next month.
This is what can affect us. If what he owns, let's say he owns a media conglomerate or something like that, right? Remember, we had, who was the guy who owned BET at one point in time? We had Sheila Jackson, Bob Johnson. This is where it could be dangerous. Mm-hmm. Say what you will, maybe you're going to disagree with me or not, but I grew up watching I saw how BET started to evolve and change. Used to have news on BET, used to have productive stuff. You had Teen Summit. And then for whatever reason, Bob Johnson himself admitted that the money to be made was in the videos. And then you start seeing all the ranchy type videos where Black women were being, presented in a poor manner. We were being presented in a poor manner as men. And he made a lot of money off of that. And then he sold it to who? Viacom. So I'm kind of making your point that it is important to recognize what they got their hands in if it's poison for Black people to be consuming it. And there's a lot of Black folks around here that are in media, that have been in media, like Bob Johnson, who some of us might like and look up to, who did sell us poison. He did sell us poison, even though we consumed it. We consumed it. We have to make a choice. We consumed this shit. I gotta be fair about
it's
that.
important. It's important. It's
Yes.
important to figure out. It's important to figure out. I'm using an analogy. It's important to figure out what type of poison snake bit you.
Right.
But the main purpose of the main point that you should be focusing on that a poison snake bit me, and what I'm gonna do about this poison snake. I don't care what kind is it or what color is it. I just need to find out, hey, this poison snake bit me. I have to do something about it.
Right.
One thing about us, no matter who's feeding us, one thing about black people, if a black person doing it to us, it seems to be screwed up. But if a white person do it to, we kind of like let it slide. And see, that's the problem. That's one of our problems. They use us to destroy us.
Right.
See, that's one of our issues. We follow too much. This the problem with us. And I'm gonna go back to this. Don't put too much energy in this case. I'm telling y'all, this is a distraction to whoever listens, to how many people hear this video. This is a distraction. I hope he loses this case.
Wait a minute. Now I have to give you.
People.
I have now. I'm gonna have the other brother. I want to have the. But wait a minute. I'm gonna have the other brother rebut whatever you said. But let me just say this for the sake of the show, of the program. My question is, see, this is the thing. I do believe that if he loses the case, it will have some trickle down effect. It may not affect the average black person who does not have a business, right? If I don't have a business, I'm not in business, I'm not in those circles, then it may not affect me directly as it would black people that are in that business circle. However,
let me finish.
But let me finish though, brother. Didn't I just say that they've been gutting a lot of the civil rights, all the stuff that's on the books? They're trying to gut it. This would be another example.
But we don't have no rights here. We don't have no rights. Right. That's what I'm trying to get.
I get what you're saying.
We don't have rights.
That we don't have rights. I get that. We don't have the rights that we think we have. However, whatever is on the books, and this will be another one that will be gutted, and will further make the argument that you're making right now that we don't have any rights.
Let me ask you, brother.
Let me let the other brother. Yeah, go ahead.
That proves to show that it don't mean nothing.
Well, it's all a matter, but see, wait a minute though. It's a matter, like I said, it's a matter of opinion, and this is why I say it's a matter of opinion based on where you are, how it impacts you. Now, this is how it could.
That's not an opinion. That's a fact, and let me explain why it's a fact. And I ain't meant to cut you off.
Hold on. Let me ask you.
Hang on. I'm gonna turn you both down now. Okay, I can do that because I'm trying to have a structured conversation here. We got to look at both sides of everything, brother. I get what you're saying. That we don't have rights, or it seems that we don't have rights because everything that our ancestors have worked for is getting chopped down. Well, this is why if he does not win, that will definitely further take more rights away from us that we think we have. So that does play into what you're saying. But at the same time, my question would be to you, brother, what are we to do then? What do we need to do? Because we're living in America. We're not living in another country. We're either going to stand up or we're going to lay down for anything. So I don't think that black people should just lay down and say, okay, they're taking our rights away. They're taking this away. Let's not do nothing because we not no citizen. Look, man, we already know through history that we have not been given a fair shake, but we still got to still do something. And if that just means doing something for ourselves, we got to do something. Okay, we got to do something. We got to figure out what are we going to do about it, or are we going to perish? Now, I know that you want to make a rebut to what I'm saying probably, but let the other brother that's on with you, brother, all due respect to you, let him say what he's got to say so that we can allow you to answer to what he wants to rebut about what you said. Please, let's be respectful here. So the other brother online that wants to
Yes,
rebut. Go ahead, and then we'll let the brother come in and say his piece. You know, see, I like this because you're having. I like the discussion because we're having a discussion. We may have different point of views, but we're not getting all crazy, cussing each other out, and all that kind of nonsense. You know, we having constructive conversation. Go right ahead. Go right ahead, brother.
No. What I wanted to first ask my brother is, what's his name? I'm sorry.
Say your name, brother, so everybody can know who you are if you feel comfortable doing so.
My name Mario.
Mario. We got Brother Mario who called me originally, Brother Mario. Oh, okay, go ahead. And then after you say what you say, then I need Brother Mario. And Lions Den, are you still there? I cannot. Lions Den, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
But I want to ask my brother Mario.
Wait a minute. Lions Den, this is what I want to do. Lions Den, hang on the line. I'm going to let this brother say what he got to say. Let the other brother make his statement, and then I have to bring you in. So, brothers, go right ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to ask my brother Mario. And because I want to get to Lions Den real quick, I'm gonna ask him, and then I'm gonna give just a quick comment, and then I'll allow him to respond.
Yes, sir.
I take a little issue with you, brother Mario, when you said we don't deserve, something. We don't deserve rights, and if we don't have rights, if we all agree that we don't have rights, what does a man and what does a group of men do? What have men done to get and enforce their rights? What did these founding fathers of the United States do with the Declaration of Independence? We haven't done that as Black Americans. But what did they do to enforce their rights? Okay, what did they do? Okay, so when you say we don't deserve something, okay, what are we supposed to do? Because you can't say that without putting forth a plan of action. Okay, and then if you say, and if somebody else has the plan of action already, you can't just nitpick at the plans of action because there is a solution. Because when you start saying we don't deserve something, we don't have something, we'll never get something, just nobody want to listen to that because you're like, dude, you're sitting up here saying we can't. And nobody, I'm just saying I'm not attracted to that because it's not, it's just I'm not attracted to that because I know in my heart, we're going to survive and we're going to thrive, right?
Can I answer that question before you keep going?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
No. That's why I just wanted to include that in my question and my rebuttal so I can tell you. And we can go right to line.
Go right ahead, Brother Mario.
Okay, let me answer that question. The reason why I say black, and I'm gonna leave this on the doorstep of black men. Black men in this country don't deserve these so-called rights because you ain't deserved for nobody to give you nothing. As men, we shouldn't be sitting around asking nobody for nothing, no rights, no nothing, no equal nothing. Because in the world, in life, there's no such thing as nothing is equal. You is not equal to me, and I'm not equal to you. I don't care who you are. So furthermore, if we as men, black men, continue to lay down and let this man walk over us and allow him to give us something, we're gonna be children forever. We're gonna die as children. We're born as kids, we're gonna die as kids. Either we stand up and take what we deserve and so-called our rights, which that's a crazy term anyways, your right. No, I'm a human being, I'm a man. You don't have to give me nothing because I'm a man like you. As a matter of fact, I know I'm better than you. So what I look like asking you for my rights. Either we stand up or fight and die trying and show all black women and kids that we are men. Money would not get us out of the situation. Finances is not going to get us out of the situation. Voting and all this nonsense, this is not going to relieve us from this bondage. It is not. So y'all can sit here and talk for hours and years and vote and all this nonsense. This is not going to get it.
All right, and I have a question for you. Is voting and doing the things that black people have done up to far, what would be your answer to what we should be doing? Because I hear what you're saying, and I learned this in school, a professor taught me, or I've learned this just growing up as well, but I remember I had a professor in college say to me that power conceives nothing without a demand. Nobody gives you
Frederick
anything.
Douglass.
Yeah. So it's Frederick Douglass. You're right. Nobody gives you anything. You got to
Frederick
demand it, and then
Douglass
you
was
got
a-
to and you got to
and he
take
was
it.
a failure.
But let me just
And
say this
Frederick
though.
Douglass was a failure.
Let me just say
All
this
of them
though.
was failure.
Let me just say this, brother. The first step in power is one, you make a demand, but then what you're saying is you take it. You can't lay back passively. Now, if what you're saying is true, that a lot of our historical folks like Frederick Douglass, they failed, in your opinion, they failed, then I would say to you, brother, what would be your ingredient, your recipe, so to speak, for what we need to be doing, since things that have been done in the past, according to your opinion, as it relates to Frederick Douglass and what you have said so far, I don't want to put words in your mouth, has been a failure. When what is it that we need to be doing? Because at the end of the day, we still are in America. We still are under a tax system where we pay taxes every year, even though every state didn't ratify it. So in some ways, paying a portional tax is a ripoff. They're okie doking us. But that's another issue if you saw the movie Zeitgeist. But what would be your recipe for what we need to be doing if what we've been doing doesn't lead us to anything? What would be your recipe?
The streets of America should be drenched in our blood, period. And theirs.
All right.
Simple recipe.
Okay. Let me go over.
You asked me.
We did that.
Yeah.
We did that.
I understand.
No, we didn't.
We did that. Yes, we did. We
That
did
was
1,000 rebellions. We did 1,000 rebellions, over 1,000 rebellions from 1950 to 1960 something.
It wasn't good
Between
enough.
those times, listen, hold on.
Let the brother.
We did
Mario, let the brother
rebellions.
speak. Mario.
Hold on, bro.
Let the brother speak,
I didn't say
Mario.
that.
We ran them out of the cities. Okay, that's why a lot of cities around America, you have mostly black people inside the city, and the white folks ran out of cities. So we took territory, but the people who did those rebellions did not understand what they were actually doing. They just got mad, and when they took territory, they did not know how to run the territory because they didn't do the hard work of sitting here talking, making plans, thinking, writing letters, all the stuff that people think is unnecessary. You have to know how to govern yourself. So I agree with what Mario is saying on a level, but I think that he's discounting the other hard work. It's the reason why you got a federal government, a Pentagon. You see nothing but paper up in that Pentagon. You see a bunch of letters, bunch of emails, a bunch of news stories. That's war. I'm sorry people don't understand that. That is war. You can't have real serious warfare and real dominance without paper, without a bunch of speech and a bunch of meetings. You need that.
I want to ask you a question.
Both are needed. I'm listening.
Okay, those people, those Arabs over in the Middle East and those so-called Muslims over in the Middle East who are fighting against, even if we go back to the Haitian Revolution, they fought. Even though if you look at Haiti now, you see why they're suffering, because they did fight and revolt. I understand that. You don't get no way without a fight. This country wasn't built off of asking and voting and begging and stuff. They took it. Bloodshed. That's all it's gonna take.
But you know, it's a combination. Do you see what I'm saying though? Because I'm not saying you're wrong.
I respect what you're saying.
Okay, so that's all I'm saying to you. So that's all I want you to say. Is you're not saying nothing technically wrong. Well, you kind of throwing salt on the other side of it, and that's not gonna make it happen either. See, because this stuff that we sitting here doing, this is planning. That's why people's channels is getting cut off. That's why people having a hard. That's why all these different, stall tactics are happening by establishment forces, because they see our community organizing. This is what they're looking at. Now, we don't know what we're doing because we're just doing what comes natural. But they know the steps of nationhood, nation building, and organizing. And they know what that leads.
I can agree with that.
So they're not looking at what you're at right now. So that's what I said. So it's not necessarily good because when you say, if you want to send somebody out to go to battle before it's necessary, a man is better serving us as a husband to his wife, as they're protecting his child, than going out there, because we're going to get 5 men out of that family, or 3 men and 2 girls or something like that, instead of sending that one man out because he's willing, he's ready, and he go die. And that's the best among you. And all the scared cowards survive to procreate with the women. You see what I'm saying?
Let me, gentlemen. So let's just say here, both of you have your different perspectives. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are a true soldier and you are using proper strategy, this is the mistake that we do on YouTube. You don't tell your enemies what you're gonna do. You do it. You create your strategy. You create your strategy behind the scenes. So the minute you, like, for example, if you take a brother like Umar Johnson talking about how he wants a school and he wants to do this and he doesn't want any, you shouldn't be on these social medias giving the enemy your strategy. You should be doing that in the quietness of those that are following you behind the closed doors to create your strategy. Okay, because we know what happened. What happened to Nat Turner when when those slave revolts were happening, particularly Nat Turner? They always use someone that looks like us to destroy us, and so we got to also clean some house. Let me just say this, because I'm gonna come to a conclusion of this program. We got a little bit off a kilter here because we're talking about the Byron Allen, but let me just say. But we have to have, yeah, it does. But we have to use, some would say military strategy. Use strategy. There were some that would say, because I've always been a person that I'm not a big fan of the military, but then there's some brothers that would tell me, well, wait a minute, Info, we need to have brothers that are in the military because they need to get that military science. They need to get that military ability that can help us. I mean, I'm a reader and a lover of the book in the movie, The Spook That Sat Next to the Door, where that brother became a CIA agent and they thought he was just some coon, some shine, I do anything you want me to do for you, master. And then what did he do? He took all that knowledge that he learned and went back to the community and started teaching brothers in the street how to defend themselves, how to protect the community. And they were a force to be reckoned in that movie and what that was representing. So, but in the movie, what did the brother do? He wasn't advertising what he was going to do. He just went out and did it. So I think whether you agree with Byron Allen or whether you agree whether this is going to work or not, we still need to have a strategy when all fails us. And the strategies that have not been working, we need to look at what works and what has not worked and go with what works and squash out what does not work. Let me say peace to Sister Maya, who's come in the house. Peace, sister. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Sister, I got to get you up here with me for an interview. My email, send me a message so that we can set something up, because I would definitely like to do that. And I hope you are well. I'm actually celebrating. I celebrated my birthday today. I turned 50 years old. And my man Lions Den, who's on with me.
Birthday, brother.
Thank you. Lions Den, are you still on with us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Lions Den, let me say this to you, brother. I want to tell you that thank you for all your patience. You know how black folks are when we get together. We just got to, chop it all up. But I like the conversation. I like the fact that the brothers have different opposing ideologies, okay? Because we need that. We can not, black folks don't all think alike. We're not all monolithic. We all have different point of views of how we're trying to get to where we got to get. I do think personally that there have been some things about the way this government is set up has been a failure for us. Because I'll be honest with you, the quote unquote founders, and I say quote unquote wig wearing founders, when they founded this country, what's going on, TR Nari X? Check that brother's channel out, subscribe to him, super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
All right, that's my brother TR Nari X. Love him. Peace to you, brother. He had a birthday just yesterday. So happy birthday to you. But I'm celebrating my birthday too, and I'm just glad that I can be alive to have this discussion with you, brothers. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that the system and the government that was set up, it was set up for our benefit. The wig-wearing founders, they created this country with the philosophy to benefit white men, particularly white land-owning white men, okay, particularly. And I just think that's one of the reasons why, in my estimate, why we have not benefited, because the country was never set up and built by us, for us. So something that's not built for you or was created with you in mind, and then you scratch your head and say, why it's not working? Why it's not working? We've been in 400 years. We've been trying to get folks to love us. It's not working, folks. It hasn't been working in some cases because we're living in a structure that was never built for us, by us, for us, with our philosophy, our heart, and our soul, and our sinew. It never was. I have to be honest about that. So, Lions Den, do you want to add anything, brother? I want to say once again to you, thank you, brother, for doing that happy birthday video for me and everything that you mean. We've known each other for 11 years. We've been through thick and thin, from the blog talk days to the U.S. Talk News Radio with Andre Agashaw and Lee Michaels, who I got to get Lee Michaels on. He's a legendary radio producer. But any thoughts before we end the broadcast tonight, man?
Yeah, I would like to. I'm enjoying, this conversation, because I think even though we have difference of opinions, we still, at the end, we're still brothers and sisters. And I would like to say again, I remember when I was on Talk Radio, I brought you in as my co-host, and
right,
that's true. At that time, and now,
that's true.
And now, look at you now. You blowing up, but at the end of the day, guys, no matter what happens, that whether Byron Allen will win this case or not, it shows what kind of leader it shows that how powerful Black people really are, and we are that powerful. And so we have to respect what Byron Allen is, whether you like the man or not. He's still one of us, and he still represents one of us.
I see.
Yeah, he's married to.
I see. Oh no, I know he's married to a white woman. I know that Black folks have an issue with that, and I understand that.
Yeah,
but I think that this is how I look at it again. And I know Brother Mario says it ain't gonna work out. It's not gonna work. I get where he's coming from, and there's some that would make the argument that Mario saying what he's saying is an example of how Black people, we are so used to, and this is no shade on Mario, but there's some that would say that Black people, we've been so used to taking it on the chin that we're always losing. And so when we're always losing throughout history, where things don't go our way, when you look at police officers that are shooting and killing and harming Black people, and we see how they get off sometimes, they're getting off, they're harming us, and then no charges are being brought their way. We collectively as a people, we take it on the chin, and it's like another loss. And it's almost like you begin to become used to saying, we gonna lose anyway. Let's be honest, when a Black man is shot unarmed and it goes for the case, 9-10 times, most of us gonna say, in general, the cop's gonna get off, because we're so culturally conditioned for things to never work out for us. Now, that's what some people would say when they hear what Brother Mario is saying. And I'm not saying that to say that that's what Mario, I'm not trying to marginalize your opinion. I'm not trying to marginalize what you're saying, brother. I'm just saying that there's some people that will look at it as it's an ideology of we gonna always fail. And I think personally, if Byron Allen or if the Supreme Court doesn't screw this one up, as I said before, it will benefit those black people who are involved in business on that level? Will it hurt now this is where it could hurt the small everyday person who doesn't have a business. Let's say a lot of us on YouTube say that we want black male media. You hear Obsidian talking about that. We need more black male media. Well, if I want to open up, if I want to create a black male media conglomerate, right? And we all came together. If this law gets gutted, it could impact the advertisement dollars that we need to be able to grow the business. Okay. Businesses, they need growth. And part of their growth is not only people patronizing the business, but you need advertisement dollars. And I've seen this, that a lot of black businesses in that upper echelon, they're not getting the proper advertisement dollars, which will trickle down to a poor product that you will get. So when you look at a black magazine, a black publication of some sort, black business, and you say, and we guilty of saying this is some cheap shit. Black folks doing cheap shit. They're not doing, well, it's going to trickle down to you getting a cheap product when those advertising dollars are not coming into that business to produce proper professional type products for you. And then that's when black folks say the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. Let's go get it from him because, he know how to make the product better. Because why? He's getting the money. They're getting the advertisement dollars and they can make a better product. So this case could swing and affect the business person and the everyday person out here in an indirect manner, if not at all. But we'll have to see how it all comes out of the wash, no matter what you think about Byron Allen. Lyons, then you have anything else you want to say, brother?
Yeah, like I said before, I think that this Supreme Court is very important, no matter what the Supreme Court decides. And again, like I said, my concerns are it's the conservative Supreme Court, so you never know where they're going to swing with the Byron Allen Comcast situation.
Well,
but I will say this: I enjoy this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we have difference of opinions, but at the end of the day, we respect each other and we respect each other's opinions, and that's what's important.
Okay.
And no matter what happens, at the end of the day, we're going to find out if Byron Allen wins, we all win. If Byron Allen loses, then we're going back to the drawing board.
Right.
So that's what's important with this case, is that we have to figure out what the Supreme Court or what their decision is. And I know Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she wasn't even in the court at the time because she suffered an illness, but she was going to go ahead and continue with this with this ruling. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're going to have to wait and see what they're going to do, what their decision is going to be, and then this good outcome will happen.
I think you answered your own question. And I said it before, the court is loaded up with conservatives. And if I was a betting man, or if I'm using educated, intelligent reasoning here, that I believe, because I read an article earlier today, it looks like the Supreme Court is probably going to, and I think Brother Mario said this, it looks like they may rule, if they haven't already, or maybe tomorrow they will, they're going to go and side with Comcast. And this is the reason why. Let's remember this. Have we forgotten, everybody? The Supreme Court said, they did a ruling some years ago. Remember this? They said that corporations are people too. Remember that? Don't be quiet on me now, folks. So we got a Supreme Court that's got all kind of warped notions. And a lot of these Supreme Court justices, who you think they're having hors d'oeuvres with and eating crackers and drinking wine and cheese with and rubbing elbows with? Some of these damn Supreme Court justices are running around with these corporations, man. They're on their boards. They're getting perks and stuff like that. That's why I always believe that the Supreme Court should be changed out every 10 years. I think it's bullshit that you would give somebody a job for life and we got people on the Supreme Court getting old and decrepit. Their mind is falling apart. They're out of touch with the everyday reality of what people are living like today. I think it's ridiculous. They should have that Supreme Court refreshed more than you shouldn't be able to put somebody on that Supreme Court and they can stay there for 30, 40, and 60 years and get senile. I mean, it's a problem. But the reason why this happens is, like I said before, this is not a government that was created by us, for us, and it does not have our heart and mind. And that's just, I'm going to stand on that. So, Lions Den, thank you for being here, brother. I want to say to you too, Lions Den, that we got Yalpo is in the house again. Peace to him. Damn, I would love to have had him on here talking to us because that brother is very knowledgeable, intelligent brother. Queen Maya, I'm going to send you an email. I cut and paste your email. I'm going to send you an email right now just so you'll have mine, and then we can set something up. Oh, to the two brothers, if they're still on with us, are they still with us? I want them to say their last statements before we end tonight. Are you still here? Who's here? Okay, I guess the two brothers have left the phone call. Brother Earl Owens is in the house now. Peace to you, brother. I'm glad that you're here. And let me see this here. Lions Den, once again, man, thank you. I'm glad that you're here, man. And you gotta don't be a stranger, brother. I know you're married and you're busy with family life. And how's everything going?
Everything is everything. Everything is good. And for those of you that want to check me out more, I have a podcast of my own. Y'all can check out my podcast it's called Roar on Your Podcast. It's already on Anchor, Spotify, Apple iTunes, and other devices. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel called Lions Den #ADOS. And I'm, like I said, I'm on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at The Real Lions Den as well. So I would love to hear from you guys soon.
Okay, Super Mike 2164, who I believe was on with us. I want to tell you right now, brother, thank you for the super chat. He says, great show. Thanks for having me. And thank you, brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
I want to say thank you for being on. Let me say thank you for brother Mario. Brother Mario was raw tonight, man. He just came in. He say this ain't working. That didn't work. This ain't gonna. I mean, I'm pretty sure that people that are gonna listen to this are gonna say, man, that dude is skeptic, right? So I'm kind of glad that we had Super Mike 2164 come on and give an opposing view to brother Mario. So what we had here is we had balance, and I'm just the moderator in the middle, and you trying to figure this all out. But I'm gonna tell you, that man right there, Al Sharpton, I'm gonna tell you, the brother is getting paid. He doesn't have slick hair for nothing. He's making money. Say what you will about Byron Allen. I think Byron Allen is 100% right. Okay, I think Obama to some degree was paid and brought for, and I do believe that Al Sharpton has been benefiting from whatever deal he's getting from Comcast, right? And Byron Allen said something that I think was important in there. He said that, remember, we forgot Sony got in trouble because they had these racist emails about Obama. Say what you feel about Obama and how you feel about him, but they said they had some racial emails, and they thought by giving Al Sharpton money and propping him up or whatever, that somehow that was I think Al Sharpton had a big birthday party that a lot of money was shined on him, and I think Sony or whoever, they had I think they had a night with Al Sharpton where they were speaking with him, and they made him a featured person. And they thought that was a way to sort of say, okay, we're not racist no more. Byron Allen is right about that when it comes to that, giving those butter biscuits and that fried chicken and trying to use people can be brought and sold for. And we have had a lot of people who we've looked up to as prominent individuals with a Messiah attitude, and they have disappointed us. I think that's where brother Mario was right. We need to be more aligned on ourselves and more active, and we need to take the fight. All right. And we need to not sit back passively. We need to be more active. And I believe, as I said before, power conceives nothing without a demand. And you also must have action to take what you have. If you look at the history of America in this country was taken by force. It was snatched up. Europeans came here. They didn't ask the native people, hey, can we have this land? Can we share it with you? They befriend them, but the whole goal was to backstab them with the fake befriending. So they act like they were their friends when their real agenda was to take from them. And that's how America was built. So when the brother said, well, there's not enough bloodshed, that's where Super Mike was actually right. Historically, you've had slave revolts throughout the South and throughout this whole country where you had black people fighting. You even had during the Middle Passages where slaves would actually kill themselves purposely to the sharks in the water because they didn't want to be enslaved here. They didn't want to be enslaved. Another thing that they don't tell you about in history, and this is really real terrible, is that sometimes you had slaves on the slave ships, and this has been historically documented, where the slaves would refuse to eat. And you know what they did, Lions Den, to them to make them eat? And they won't show this to you on these movies. They won't show you the real deal. A lot of the movies that we've seen about slavery have been actually watered down. They would actually break their teeth, force their mouth open, and pour food down their throat against their will and bust up their teeth and everything. Bust their mouths up real bad. So there's so many things that, and so this whole thing about black people in general, historically, we've always had a fighting will in us. It's just who we have leading us. Do we have the proper leadership or do we not? So let me say to everybody, BMT was in the house. We got BT, Brunch of Do Not. Thank you for being here, BT. Queen Maya's here, Girl TV. Yapo is in the house. Earl Owens. We had Mario on. We had Mike, Super Mike. We have King Wage in the house. Return of the Black Man's in the house. Lady M's in the house. Off the Girl is in the house. Peace, sister. Thank you for being here. If you aren't, Tasha's in the house. Let's see. Reggie Austin's in the house. Thank you for being here. Royalties in the house. Simpsons in the house. Royal Simpsons. TR Nari X is in the house. Make sure y'all check out his show. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna mod you up, Mr. Male Advice. I'm gonna mod you up, brother. God, no, you know what? I gotta get over to your channel too, brother. I've been missing your channel. Let me how can I do this? Did I mod him up or did I do something mistakenly? Okay. No, I modded him up. He must have changed the message that he said or something. Let me I'm gonna let me see here, folks. I'm trying to find his channel. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna cut him. I'm gonna copy this so I can because for some reason I'm not getting notifications on this brother's channel. So with that said, folks, I'm gonna end the show right now. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Anybody that I wasn't able to shout out, I apologize. I'll be back on this upcoming weekend. Hey, I'm 50 years old. It's my birthday. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you all. I give kisses to everybody out there who came over and supported the channel. Make sure you share the video. And thank you for being here. Lions Den, take care, brother. I thank you for being here.
Take care, brother. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Everybody, this is the Information Man Show. Peace.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
Peace, everybody. Peace.
Information is power. Tell the truth.
Podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms. On the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks Podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, CastBox, SoundCloud, and finally, Spreaker.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
You are listening to Information Man podcast.
Information is power. Tell the truth.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's been a great night. And thank everybody in the chat room that came out and gave me support. I really want to let you guys know, everybody, the ladies and the brothers in the chat room, I definitely appreciate you all. I see we got my man Marlo's music channel. Let me mod you up, brother. You missed the show, brother. I wish you had been here earlier. Look at the repeat of the show. I think you might get a kick out of it. I think you might find it very interesting. Make sure you check out Brother Marlo music channel. That's the brother that I was advertising to you all, telling you that if you want to learn piano, if you want to listen to some beautiful music at night when you're relaxing and sleeping, he has a great channel that will provide you with that sort of relaxation with the music and learning piano. So check out Brother Marlo's music channel. You won't regret it. Once again, I thank you all for being here. This is the Information Man Show. Make sure you also, if you can, check out my podcasting networks. I'm on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We got SoundCloud, CastBox, Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud. You'll see material that may be different from what's on this channel. You'll see some material that might be the same material. And I also have a second channel that's Information Man Speaks Podcast. Information Man Speaks Podcast. I've got to get over there and put more material on that channel. I've been neglecting to. I haven't put enough material on there, and I haven't done enough live streaming over there. So you're gonna see some changes with me doing a few more things on the other channel. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, please get over there now. My brother TR Nairi X. Let me tell you something, brother. If you're in the chat room right now, I appreciate you. You are a big reason why the second channel has grown as it has had. You give me all the respect when I come to your channel. Your music is fantastic. I hope the day will come in your travels as a musician when you get back to California, especially Northern California where I live, that we will be able to meet in person and sit down and talk. I thank you always, brother, for the things that you do. And even when I'm not able to be in your live streams, I'm there in spirit, knowing that you're doing great things. TR Nari is the real deal on YouTube. His channel is going to blow up. He will be a big, great YouTuber. He is already great in my mind. Check him out if you want to get some more growth on your channel and support. He does great live streams. The brother is dedicated. He's a great world-class musician. He created something for me that was fantastic that I need you to hear. And let me just play it in just a moment. And everybody out there listening in the podcast world, you are listening to the Information Man Show, on my YouTube channel. And thank you for being here too. Now, let me play this for you because I think this will be, let me see if this is the one here. Here it is, folks. He played.
Oh, information man. Oh, information man. Oh, podcast. Information man speaks. Information podcast. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Information.
Information is power.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.